Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a really fascinating set of sources. On the surface, they read almost like an urban fantasy plot.
Right. High stakes, magic, secret wars.
Exactly. But underneath, they lay out this incredible picture of how things like destiny, elemental forces, and just sheer power can completely reroute someone's life.
And it all centers on one woman, Mira Hoskins.
Let's start there. Who is she when we first meet her?
Well, initially, she's presented as almost aggressively normal, you could say. She's a waitress in Minnesota.
Just working shifts at a diner.
Yeah, a nice diner. Saving her tips, trying to get enough money together to go back to night school for psychology.
And she's coming out of a pretty rough situation personally, right?
A really bitter divorce. Her ex, Ben, was a lawyer and apparently quite the philanderer. So Mira, she just craves stability, normalcy.
Okay, so that's the baseline. Mundane life trying to rebuild. Our mission today is to track how fast that facade just gets ripped away.
Totally. And how she's forced into this hidden world of, well, elemental warfare.
And how that deep need for stability she has just crashes headfirst into this incredibly intense, maybe even elementally forced romance.
It starts subtly, though, with a guy at the diner, Jack McAllister.
Right. The sources call him Mr. Gorgeous's at first.
Yeah, she notices him. He's quiet, just sits there reading the paper. But there's this immediate connection she feels.
Like a physical pull.
Exactly. Primal is the word the sources use. She can't ignore it, even though she's trying to focus on her life. It's the first clue that something beyond just, personal preference is happening.
And that tension snaps pretty quickly, doesn't it, with the customer?
It does. A customer gets really aggressive towards Mira because she's wearing a pentagram necklace.
Which for her is just part of her Wiccan faith, right?
Yeah.
Spirituality, not active spellcasting.
Precisely. But the customer doesn't care. And that's when Jack steps in.
Not violently at first.
No, it's more about this. Unnerving authority he projects. He defends her right to wear it. It's the first real sign he's much more than just some quiet guy in a booth.
Okay, so the intrigue is there, but then the threat level ramps up significantly.
Oh, yeah. Mira's had this nagging feeling for weeks, like she's being watched. Classic paranoia, maybe.
Until it isn't?
Until it really isn't. Two men break into her tiny basement apartment, cut the phone line. It gets very real, very fast.
And Jack McAllister just happens to be there.
He intervenes. And this time, it is violent, focused, brutal, professional. He takes them down, injures them.
And reveals he's, what, her bodyguard?
Essentially, yes. An operative for a group called the Coven, assigned to protect her. And then he drops the bombshell.
The big one.
The one that changes everything. Her parents. They didn't die in some random car crash like she was told.
No.
They were powerful, elemental air witches. And they were murdered by another group, the Duskoff Cabal.
Wow. So her whole past is a lie.
Completely rewritten in that moment.
Yeah.
And her identity, too. She thought she was just Wiccan, interested in nature and spirituality.
But not a witch in the, spellcasting sense.
Right. But Jack tells her, no, you are a witch, a natural air witch, inheriting your parents' power.
That's a massive identity shift. How does he even convince her?
He demonstrates right there. Summons a small, controlled blue flame into his palm.
Oh, okay. Hard to argue with that.
Exactly. Suddenly, magic isn't just theory or belief. It's real, it's tangible, and for her, it's incredibly dangerous.
All right, so let's pause there and unpack this magical world she's just been thrown into. Elemental witches. It's not just a label, is it?
No, not at all. The elements define everything, their powers, their temperament, even who they're drawn to.
So Mira is air. What does that mean in practical terms?
Air gives her command over air currents, obviously, but also sound waves. That's key. Plus, a strong intuitive sense. Air is actually ranked as one of the most powerful elements.
And Jack, Mr. Fire in the Palm.
He's fire.
Yeah.
And the sources describe fire as inherently dangerous, unpredictable. It takes immense willpower to control it properly.
Which might explain some of his intensity, maybe.
Could be. But it definitely explains the chemistry between them. That initial pull Mira felt.
It wasn't just her.
No, it's described as magical affinity. It's basically elemental physics. Fire and air have this incredibly intense natural attraction to each other.
Like magnets.
Almost exactly. The sources also mention water and earth have a similar bond. So it forces you to ask, their connection, is it genuine choice or is it just elemental compulsion?
A question that probably gets even more complicated when you look at who's fighting who in this secret war.
Absolutely. You've got two main factions. First, the Coven.
Jack's group. the protectors.
Mostly, yeah. They're focused on protecting witches and sort of managing the magical world, keeping things under wraps. Their leader is Thomas Monaghan.
An Earth Witch.
Yeah.
And Mira's cousin.
Her first cousin, yeah. Monaghan was her mother's maiden name. And Jack's a top operative within the coven. Think like Magical Secret Service or NSA.
Okay, so they're the good guys, relatively speaking. Who are the Duskoff Cabal, then?
They're the warlocks witches who betrayed the coven. Their focus is pure power and wealth.
And they're led by William Crane.
Right, a fire witch.
Yeah.
Who also happens to run a big multinational company, Duskoff International, as a front.
So why are they suddenly after Mira now? Her parents were killed years ago.
Urgency. Crane is dying. Bone cancer.
Okay.
And he needs Mira for something specific and horrifying, a demonic circle ritual.
Demonic. Okay, this just keeps getting worse for Mira.
It does. This ritual needs one witch of each of the 4 elements: earth, fire, water, and air.
And Mira is the air component they're missing.
Exactly. And the ritual itself, the sources say it rapes a witch of his or her magic. It drains them completely.
And kills them.
It kills them in the process.
Yeah.
Crane is desperate. He presumably thinks summoning a demon is his only way to get healed. And Mira, this powerful, newly discovered air witch, is the final piece he needs.
So Crane needs Mira dead, basically. Jack's response is extreme protection.
You can say that. He essentially puts her under lockdown, takes her to his penthouse apartment, 52nd floor, Minneapolis, heavily warded against magic.
That sounds more like a prison than a safe house.
There's definitely tension there.
Yeah.
The sources highlight how Jack, uses his skills to keep her safe, which includes physically restraining her at times, tying her to the bed so she can't escape or get hurt.
While also fighting this intense elemental attraction to her. That's complicated.
Deeply. But this forced proximity also reveals another side to Jack. He's a photographer.
A hobby.
Yeah. At first, he's taking surveillance shots of Mira, part of his job.
Oh.
But then it shifts.
How so?
He starts taking these really intimate, almost artistic photos. They capture her loneliness, her vulnerability, her fear. It's like he's trying to understand her beyond the mission, beyond the elemental pull.
Seeing the person, not just the air which he has to protect or the fire which he's drawn to.
Maybe. It's an interesting layer. Meanwhile, her training has to start immediately.
Right, she has this power she doesn't understand or control.
Exactly. So she trains with Jack and also with Thomas Monaghan's sister, Serena, who's an earth witch.
And she picks it up quickly.
Some basics, yeah. Like levitating small objects, a rock, a feather, standard stuff.
And then there's the telesense. That sounds important.
It is. It comes directly from her air element control over sound waves. She learns she can basically eavesdrop over distances.
The sources mention overhearing garbage collectors. Seems minor.
It sounds trivial, but it demonstrates the type of power she has. Fine control over sound, over air. It's highly specific to her element.
But control is the key word there. What happens when she loses it?
That's the big danger.
Yeah.
There's an incident in the apartment. She accidentally unleashes this huge, uncontrolled blast of air magic.
How bad?
Chaos. Wrecks the place. Nearly kills Jack.
Okay, that's serious.
It's critical because it terrifies her. Jack reinforces this fear, tells her an untrained air witch once accidentally started a whole line of tornadoes in Missouri.
So the consequence of losing control isn't just breaking furniture, it's potentially catastrophic.
Exactly. And this fear creates a major psychological block for her.
Which becomes a huge problem when the stakes get personal.
All right. Crane needs leverage. So his adopted son, Stefan Faucheux, another powerful fire witch, kidnaps Mira's godmother, Annie.
Oh no. Bait.
Pure bait. And Mira tries to access her power to help, to fight back. But she can't.
Because of the block?
Yeah, her subconscious is terrified of causing that kind of destruction again, of hurting someone she cares about like she almost hurt Jack. Fear is literally paralyzing her magic.
Yeah.
But the kidnapping, the threat to Annie, and just the raw anger about her parents finally pushes her past that fear.
She has to act.
She has to. And she finds a way. Using that air consciousness, that intuition, she focuses. She manages to sense Annie inside the Duskoff headquarters.
Which is supposed to be heavily warded, right?
Yeah.
Magically protected.
Extremely. But Mira senses this tiny flaw, described as a hairline crack in the warding on the south wall. It's subtle, precise work. Air magic.
So she knows where Annie is. Does she go in alone?
No, she joins the Coven strike team. She's not just rescuing Annie. She wants Crane. She wants revenge for her parents.
And in the fight, do we see her power unleashed?
We do. In the Duskoff building lobby, she's incredibly effective, using her magic defensively but powerfully.
Like what?
Someone tries to douse her with water magic, she instantly dries herself, she blocks energy blasts, she physically throws warlocks around with air currents. She's holding her own.
Finally in control.
Seemingly. Until Stefan, Crane's adopted son, gets the drop on her, hits her with a drugged dart to the throat.
And that's it. She's captured.
She's incapacitated, wakes up later, groggy, restrained on a boardroom table.
Oh, God. As the sacrifice for the ritual.
Exactly. And this is where Crane delivers the final, devastating blows. Not physical, but informational.
The ultimate betrayal. He reveals Jack's secret.
All of it. That Jack McAllister is his biological son.
Crane's son. The enemy leader's son.
Yes. And worse. Much worse. He reveals that Jack was there 25 years ago during the ritual where Mira's mother was killed. He watched her die.
He watched and did nothing.
He was young, terrified apparently, and ran away afterwards. That's when he eventually joined the Coven, using his mother's maiden name, McAllister. But he was present.
How could the Coven let him operate, knowing this? Knowing he was Crane's son and was connected to the murder of Mira's mother?
That's a huge question. It points to maybe extreme pragmatism. They saw his power, his dedication against his father after he ran. His utility maybe outweighed the ethical nightmare of the secret.
But for Mira, this must feel exactly like her ex-husband, Ben, another man she trusted, hiding a fundamental, devastating truth.
Precisely. The sources explicitly draw that parallel. It's the same pattern of betrayal, hitting the exact same wound.
Yeah.
And that specific pain, that rage...
It breaks the death.
Completely. As the ritual starts, fueled by pure fury at the betrayal, she wills her power out.
Yeah.
An enormous, uncontrolled surge of air.
And Crane.
The force throws William Crane straight out the 40th-story window.
Wow, just out the window.
To his death. The news reports later call it a suicide. But Mira killed him with her rage.
She saved herself. She stopped the ritual. But the cost.
The cost is the trust with Jack. Despite everything, the elemental pull, his protection, his clear love for her, the lie is too big. She walks away from him at the airport, tells her cousin Thomas, "I love him, but he lied to me." So after all that chaos, Mira tries to just slot back into her old life.
Back to Mike's diner. Seriously.
She tries. Tries to find that old rhythm, that stability she craved, but it doesn't fit anymore.
How could it? After wielding that kind of power, fighting warlocks, killing the big bad, waitressing must feel...
Pale. That's the word the sources use. Her old life just feels pale and unsustainable now.
And Jack lets her go.
Not for long. He finds her back at the diner.
That must have been an awkward conversation.
Intense, more like.
Yeah.
He has to confront not just the Coven stuff, the war, but the echo of her marriage to Ben. He knows the betrayal hurt her in that specific way.
Does he apologize? Explain.
He confesses his love. He fully acknowledges that hiding his past, being Crane's son, was a mistake, a massive betrayal that mirrored what Ben did. But he insists, "I am not that man." He's trying to separate his flawed actions from Ben's fundamental character, maybe.
Did you buy it?
It's complicated, but then he pivots. He leans into the one thing that's undeniable between them.
The elemental pull? The affinity?
More than that, the biology. He explains something crucial about witch pairings. A witch paired with another witch, especially fire and air like them, is described as very fertile.
Fertile, as in babies.
Yes. Which he contrasts sharply with witch-non-witch pairings like Mira and her human ex-husband, Ben, which are apparently almost always infertile.
Whoa, okay, that adds a whole new layer. It's not just attraction, it's like biological imperative, procreation.
It certainly frames it that way. Their connection isn't just romance. It could be seen as essential for the continuation of their kind, for the Coven's future strength. It elevates it beyond just personal feelings.
So it's destiny, biology, and love all tangled up. How does he seal that argument?
He gives her a ring, not an engagement ring. He knows she's wary of commitment after Ben. It's described as a heavy, silver man's ring, marked with a C and arcane symbols.
A come ring.
Seems like it. It's not a proposal, but it's a symbol, a request for her to be in his life, permanently.
And he promises her. What kind of life? More fighting, more running?
Actually, no. He uses the most surprisingly mundane language. He talks about wanting, essentially, a house in the burbs with 2.5 kids and magic on the side type of stability.
Wow, that's exactly what she wanted at the start, isn't it? Stability.
It is. But now it comes bundled with everything she didn't want. The magic, the danger, the man whose element is literal fire and whose past is drenched in secrets.
So the sources suggest she gets her stability, but only by embracing the chaos she's trying so desperately to escape.
That seems to be the core thematic conclusion, yes. She wanted simple normalcy after her divorce. What she found was this profound, unavoidable, elementally driven connection.
And her own power, her real strength, it wasn't found in peace or control.
No, it was unlocked by rage, by betrayal, by the need for destructive force to save herself and kill Crane. Chaos brought her strength.
So wrapping this up, the key takeaways seem to be about this clash between Wicca and innate witchcraft, the Coven versus Duskoff war. But centrally, it's about Mira's incredibly rapid transformation.
And the sheer physical, biological reality of that elemental attraction between air and fire. It wasn't just a crush.
Right. Which leads us to our final thought for you, the listener. Mira was driven by this deep desire for a normal, stable life.
But her path to finding any kind of stability involved embracing immense chaos,
Mm.
and her most significant relationship was fundamentally compelled by magical, elemental laws. Her greatest power emerged from her deepest pain.
So considering that their bond was, on some level, magically mandated and her strength came from destruction, how much of the life she ends up with is truly chosen? How much is just dictated by the air she commands and the fire she's drawn to?
And maybe the bigger question, can you ever truly have that quiet house in the suburbs, that stable life, when your partner's very essence is fire?